welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another season, another edition here of the OSC Rising Star number 19, day number 2. I'm of course your side VIP, with me I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chats as well. Welcome one and all. It's gonna be a long day, baby. It's gonna be a long day. I'm a little bit fatigued, of course, as last night we were live casting. We were the only English streamers live casting the GSL qualifiers. GSL qualifiers were last night. They were quite some time ago. We got 4 hours sleep, baby. Let's go. It was pretty intense. It was a pretty intense broadcast. It was like 7 hours of GSO qualifiers. It was crazy. It was crazy. If you missed out, if you maybe missed out on the GSO qualifier cast, then it is live, or the VOD is available over on Soup. Again, for those who are curious, we could only live cast over on Soup, as they do organize and run the tournament. They're a competitor here to Twitch. They're an alternative streaming platform, of course, so you can check it out over on the Soup platform. We should be able to rebroadcast and showcase the VODs at a later date in around 2 days time. Here on YouTube and on other platforms like Twitch. So that's when we should be able to showcase that there. But if you can't wait, Soup is the place to be. Otherwise, we are back with the Rising Star. Let's go. I feel like we just wrapped up with number 18, by the way. And we of course crowned young Yakov as said champion. But now we're going to be jumping into our next season already. Oh boy, massive bracket is available, of course, and let us showcase said bracket. A lot of games, a lot of matches. Shout out to Dave Testa for covering day 1 of the OSC Rising Star, as we here covering day numero 2. Let's go. Let us go. So hold on, that was the GSL group we were covering yesterday. There we go, bam. As we have our OSC bracket here, you can already see day 1 concluding. We can have a look at the players themselves. We have Minovike, Fiant, we have Etu Click, UD Soldier, Sebestes, Hydra, Hatsu, Papi, Papi, Azura, Moja, Milky Cow Art, Defiance, Honmono, Arts, the other arts, not to confuse with the other arts, GgMaChine, Hacker's Tub, Legs, Jumy, Shameless, and a couple of others as well. There we go. Defiance and Baby Marine towards the bottom side as well. For those who are curious what this event is, this event is a platform to support up-and-coming players. If you achieved too many accolades, or if you place too highly in these big offline premier events, and even if you consistently place too highly in online tournaments, then you are ineligible for this event. So players like Hero, Clem, Rainer, Max Pax, and even more recently players like young Yakov, they're ineligible to compete in the said tournament, as they've achieved too many successes, too many first place, too many accolades in StarCraft 2. This is for the up-and-comers, of course. The up-and-comers, they're going to be facing off. I want to say in most recent seasons, it was young Yakov, Percival, and Nicorant that all did graduate. So they graduated out of OSC Rising Star. Coming into an event like this without Percival, without young Yakov, without Nicorant, I would say that Shameless, so I think I misspoke previously. I'll see about players that had promoted, of course, but Shameless, he is now going to be the top dog, right? He's going to be the one to beat, and he is the reigning champion now of the previous OSC. And Shameless, he's looking to claim another win. We'll see if he can be stopped, right? There are other top players here that I do look to, like GgMaChine, right? I'm thinking of GgMaChine. I'm thinking of Honmono, Jumy as well. There's a couple of players here that can definitely threaten Shameless. We'll see if he can be brought down. So I was just sneezing. But yes, we'll see if it can be brought down, as we're going to be jumping into day 2. Bearing in mind as well, bam, as you can see here, there is a low bracket. There's a low bracket as well. So massive double elimination bracket here. It often does take a couple of months to conclude, like 2-3 months to conclude a bracket like this, as every match is going to be played, and we have 7 best of 3s ready for you. So it's going to be a lot of weeks, a lot of StarCraft, a lot of matches are going to be taking place. We'll do our best, of course, to bring you as much of it as we can, as we've been so busy with GSL, with RSL. Masters of the Game was recently announced, that's on the horizon, of course, and many other tournaments. It's been a very intense year of StarCraft so far, and oh boy, the intensity continues, and we'll do our best to keep up. We'll keep up, baby, we'll keep up. Just catching up in the chat. Oh, here we go. Fianti's got, he'll be fine, Papi, he'll be fine. We're jumping into our initial series, our initial matchups. Up first is going to be a best of 3 between Baby Marine and Defiance. Let's go. Let us go. Well, it's on live, but every record is huge. It's every game to cast. Yes. So for those that are curious, specifically for tournaments like the OSC Rising Star and for the OSC Mid-Season Championship. So if you see these cast over on like Wardy's channel, for example, or on our channel, or Steadfast or Dave Testa, these matches are played ahead of time and submitted to the admin. The admin organizes all the matches and then sends it to the casters. So we don't know the results of these matches or anything like that, and no one does except for the players themselves, as we are jumping into our initial best of 3. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the yellow Terran player. We have the American Terran for the Platinum Heroes. It is Defiance. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Terran player. We have the Italian Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. Let's go. Let us go as we are jumping into our initial series. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Un momento, papi, un momento. But if you're in the chat, it is soon to be Gamma time. There we go. It is Gamma time. If you're in the chat, place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. So let's delve into our initial best of 3. For now, we do have our double gas opener here by Baby Marine, going for a faster factory, going for a more tech heavy start. Meanwhile, Defiance likewise going for a double gas opener as well. So far, mirrored builds. Welcome to our TVT. Let's go. Let us go. I see the chats. How far do we get now, though, to the end? Or, as I mentioned, this tournament usually takes like 2 to 3 months, like 2 to 3 months to conclude. We are only casting 7 best of 3s tonight, which is still going to be quite a lot, of course. It's going to be around like a 4 to 5 hour cast. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. But as I mentioned before, this tournament does take around like 2 to 3 months to conclude. 2 to 3 months of regular, like, weekly casting. There we go. Here we go. For the time being, we do have our initial factories, as we did mention. Again, double gas opener. Double gas opener into our faster factories. From here, we can see Baby Marine staying in the center of the map, setting up here with his initial Reaper. It's going to be a little bit risky if he does move in, but he does have the SCV to tank that first shot to catch out the initial Reaper. Here comes Baby Marine. He's moving in. Defiance moves out. Ooh, one SCV will fall. Defiance responds. He does turn back around. Yeah, he turns back around, and who shoots first? Oh! Ooh, Defiance actually. Okay. Defiance does shoot first. The SCV does tank. Ooh, one shot goes off. Reinforcements they come in from behind, and Baby Marine, he will get out. He will be able to pull out, but again, he will lose an SCV, so a 1-to-1 trade. Here he pulls away, and likewise reinforcing with more Reapers and with a Hellion as well. Yeah, staying in the tall grass, he shoots. Oh, shoots first. Gets 2 volleys off. No, he gets 2 volleys off. Yeah, alas, he chased into the tall grass. He gets punished for it. Both Reapers do full. Better trade for Baby Marine. And behind this, we're rallying more Reapers and more Hellions. We are still rallying. At the same time, Defiance likewise attempting to do the same, but now he's down a Reaper. At this point, could be down a Reaper. Yeah, here comes reinforcing Reaper. Sorry, Hellion, I meant to say. Does reinforce the Hellion. With that, he will overwhelm. And can he delay the CC? Oh, he can. Yeah, the Hellion does give chase. Hellion falls. The SCV does go down as well. Massive delay in the command center and back at home. Baby Marine, he's freely just making his own base. He's making his expansion. Massive lead here for Baby Marine. Again, the early game control here for Defiance just barely wasn't good enough. And at this point, he's being overwhelmed. He's just being overwhelmed, being overrun. Massive delay here. Eventually, he will break out. Eventually. But by the time he does, Baby Marine is going to be so far ahead, and especially in a mirror matchup, that is brutal. Yeah, it's brutal, pal. Hellions now move down. Defiance will break out. Cleaning up the Reapers, cleaning up the Hellions. Oh god, eventually. Jesus. That's never mind, Baby Marine, he still has control of the low ground. He still barely comes out on top of that fight. Just barely. Ah, no. And Defiance can finally expand. Can finally take the low ground. As we mentioned, from here, Defiance is in a very raw position, getting into his own 1-1-1, into his own bio follow-up, into Viking production. He's doing what he can, but Baby Marine, he is already getting up to full 2-base saturation. He's getting there. Defiance still is not even done. Stores it to complete. Cyclone arrives, going for the Locon, takes on the Viking. Oh no! Yeah, Locon is not broken. GG gets called Baby Marine. He will claim he will claim game number 1. GG. Whew. And GG will play does take lead in the series here, and again, just a really brutal opener when it comes to Defiance, especially in TVT. Like, your early game does matter quite heavily, otherwise things can very quickly snowball out of control. As you noticed, as you saw, one Reaper was killed, and that was almost game then and there. Like, because that dead Reaper, that meant that he could no longer maintain control of the low ground. He was just down a unit perpetually in a mirror matchup, and we saw the Bay Marine. He was able to take full advantage of that, taking these better fights, delaying the expansion time and time again, and Defiance just fell too far behind. GG well played. Again, we need to tighten up that early game here. It is a brutal part of specifically Terran versus Terran, and we'll see how Defiance handles himself coming into game numero dos. Going to be loading into White Rabbit. We are going to be loading in. I also should mention as well, as we were mentioning earlier, we were live casting GSL last night, but MSO is going to be tonight as well. MSO is usually over the weekends, but because of RSL and GSL and all the other major events that have been going on, there's just very little time over the weekend to actually host our own tournaments. So that's why we've been moving Tunic Cup and MSO and SDO to weekdays instead, at least currently until RSL concludes. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the yellow Terran player. We have the yellow Terran, the American Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Defiance. How we're going for the proxy, because spawning in the top right-hand corner, but also proxying across the map, we have the Italian Terran player himself, the red Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. Hi. SCVs are moving out. Proxy is setting up. Don't like this, baby. Don't like this. As we're going to Proxy 2x Reaper. Proxy 2x Reaper here, we're going to get out of hands. Now, thankfully, Defiance last game did go for a double gas opener, so there's a higher chance that we might see double gas here as well into a safer start. If that was the case, then Defiance will have the tools to defend. Oh, going blind 2x back at home. Okay. I mean, on paper, this is supposed to hard counter. Like, this is supposed to be a build or a win, essentially, from Defiance, but it will come down to the control. Basically, what's happening here. So we have 2x Reaper at Defiance, 2x Reaper at a Baby Marine. His are proxied. Of course, Defiance will have the advantage of pulling the boys. So he can pull the SCVs, he can have a stronger defense back at home with an equivalent army, and once he can shut down the Reapers of his opponents, he can then counterattack across the map. That is the goal here. That should be the goal. But bearing in mind, it also comes down to unit control and unit micro. You have to be very careful with that first Reaper. You cannot move it out across the map. You cannot get caught. If you lose one Reaper, I mean, then things just escalate out of control. Things will escalate. So here we go. Reapers are amassing. Este Defiance. Baby Marine likewise banking up his Reapers, waiting for his moment. Oh, Defiance moves out? This is very risky. No. He moves out across the map. This is illegal in TVT. You should not be moving out with your first Reaper because it is very easy to lose it. He does move out across the map, which means he has less to defend. He should have his 2 Reapers set up here defensively. Now he's down to 1. Yeah, he's down to 1, and Baby Marine shoots first. He shoots first, takes out the first Reaper, busts into the middle line. SCVs will go down, and again, as you mentioned, we saw that Defiance was out of position. He's now racing back home. Once again, he should get caught. Zoning the army out of the main. Oh. Some more good control there from Baby Marine. Does pull back. Thankfully, does not intercept, but again, he's already killed 1 Reaper. He's already killed 1. He's already disrupted the opener. We have a 3rd Rax on the way from Mass Reaper. The Baby Marine, he gets up the ramp. He trades. 1 for 1. He does trade, but he's still up a Reaper. We'll lose a 2nd Reaper. Still trading. Still has more HP as well. No, the boys are being pulled. And Baby Marine takes a worker lead. Behind this, he's up economically. He's been killing SCVs. So far, shaky defense here for Defiance. Thankfully, it is a double Reaper cliff. So Baby Marine is punished. And we're transitioning. We're transitioning out of this to factory on the way back at home. Factory to Hellion. Barbarian, he did scout the initial 3 racks. He's aware. And Hellions will help. Hellions that will help. Defiance sees 1 base all in, going into 4 racks. Jeez. Going up to 4 racks is a Mass Reaper. Now, the issue here is that incorporating Hellions is going to be superior. Hellions, of course, have splash damage. They can punish a clumping army. So they add so much more DPS if the army does clump. Defiance, he commits across the map. Raxes are in the air. And how much do we have? So far it is 9 Reapers to 6. Built up to 9 Reapers. Defiance now expands. A very late expansion here. We're going to be committing. He's going to be pushing into 4 Hellions. And we'll see if he does commit. Yeah, for now, picking in. You can see Baymrin, he wants to hunt him down. Dropping the Hellions. He unloads, he wants to commit in, and he will. Oof, yeah, massive Hellion shots. That's a massive volley. We'll lose 1 Hellion in the process, true. Does lose the 1. Behind this, we have Banshees on the way, tanks as well. And here comes the rest of the army. And Baymrin, he should break out. He does break out. Nice control, nice micro, pulls away the Hellions. Brings up 8 Reapers. And behind this line, switching into Bio, into Stim, into Mass Marine. Bearing in mind he has no factory, so he has no tanks. He has very little support, and here we have the follow-up. Banshees are coming. Tanks are on the way. Everyone is moving out with everything. Yeah, it's all coming together. From here, he could just claim his natural and slowly build up and get a 3rd base and just harass with Banshees, but here he's being a little more assertive, moving out with everything. Commits up the ramp, pushing into the natural. It's pure Stim Marines here to defend. I mean, there's going to be a decent chunk of Marines here, at least. A decent amount of Marines with the tanks. Oof. Yeah, tanks take siege. Pushing into the main. Banshee can try to head towards the middle line, but no, just fights head on. Oof. That's going to be a lot of dead SCVs. The tank does get surrounded at least. The boys they take down the tank. Not bad. The boys are holding. But we just came with the production. Yeah, down to 0. Down to 0 Marines. We just came with the production. The Rax lands to actually make Marines in the face of Defiance. It should be denied. There we go. It's denied, but it's still critical damage. 12 SCV kills. No. And we're still not done. Banshees are just wreaking havoc. 1 Banshee falls to the scan. Jumping into the main. Drop goes back in. 22 SCV kills, and Defiance has been crippled. GG gets called, and Baby Marine will take the 2-0 and claim the series to advance on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Baby Marine, he came in as the favorite player. Defiance, he was able to try to hold his own here. He had an interesting build here in Game 2. Game 1 was just really unfortunate. Game 2, likewise, it was unfortunate that he moved out with the first Reaper, and he went into Mass Reaper behind it. He got scouted. He had a very shaky opener. He lost a couple of SCVs and his Reapers at the start of the game, which did heavily slow him down. Right? It slowed him down. It gave Baby Marine time to get his factory, get his starport, get Hellions, get Banshees, and just macro out of it. GG. GG, well played. With that, Baby Marine does claim the series. He will advance on into the next round, and we have still plenty more matches to dive into. Let's go. Up next, we do have a PvZ between Shameless and Fiant. Okay. Interesting. Fiant, he has been less active. Straight up, he has been less active as of late. As I mentioned before, Shameless, he's coming in as the heavy favorite to win the entire tournament. We'll see if Fiant can hold his own against Shameless. Oh boy. Again, I'm curious to see kind of the current level play of Fiant. As I mentioned before, he has been very inactive as of late. He has not been competing anywhere near as much as some of the other players out there. So curious to see how he compares to Shameless. Let's go. Show us what you got. Spawning in the top right-hand corner here of top right-hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the red Protoss player representing Stouty Bulls. It is Shameless. Coming in as the #1 seed of the tournament, and spawning in the right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the yellow Zerg player himself from Lena, Sweden, representing Team Roddy. It is Fiant. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats. Coming into this, we do expect Shameless to do well here. Again, he's the #1 seed for a reason. At the same time, as I mentioned, Fiant has been less active as of late, so I'm curious to see how he does hold his own, whether he can compete and compare it to Shameless. Show us what you got as he does move out with the proxy hatch. Okay. Okay, baby, okay. Let's go. The drone does move out, so ready to dive in, ready to hatch block into the natural. Fiant still does get the natural base back at home, that is true, but he is gearing up to go for that proxy hatchery inside of that natural to try to force an overreaction. The goal here would be to force Shameless to pull the boys, to waste mining time, and to have a disrupted start. That's the hope, that's the goal. Here comes the hatchery. Let's go. Let's go. From here, we have the hatchery being placed here on the low grounds. And we do see that Shameless doesn't overreact. So again, as I mentioned before, the hope was for Shameless to pull the boys. Shameless doesn't pull the boys, and is going for his own Zealot response, gate into Cybercore. Likewise, Shameless just expands elsewhere. Like, oh my god. He just doesn't even care. Going for the unnatural natural. Shameless's build is still on point. He is more exposed, that is true. He is more exposed, but Fiant needs, it's going to be on Fiant to punish. It's going to be on Fiant. As the hatchery is going to be shut down. Yeah, from here, he's going to be able to take down the expansion. Remember, behind this, Shameless should be... sorry, Fiant is droning. He's just droning. He should be saturating. We have Queens on the way. Link speed as well. Pulls out of gas. It does make an extra pair of links here to be somewhat annoying, but it shouldn't get too much done. Shouldn't get too much done. As we mentioned, like, the goal was to try to force an overreaction, but Fiant... sorry, but Shameless, he just chills. Just expands anyway. Oh. Looks like there was a bit of a pause. Looks like there was some latency issues. As from here, we're going for the Stargate into the Oracle. The Overlord will at least confirm the initial Stargate and Oracle timing. So Fiant does have eyes on this, thankfully. He at least does confirm. Shameless is still rallying across. Go for the Oracle. The Oracle does work towards the bases. Adept shades in. He can choose. We can watch our drones. Yeah, so if I gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drones. Oh god, 4 drones go down. Some brutal damage early on, and Shameless does pull away. Okay, pulls away so far. Nice start for Shameless. Behind this, he's not done. Moving out with a second Oracle. And it's on Fiant to recover. Yo, we're just going for a Link Queen, a Link Queen all-in? We are. Okay, we're just going for the all-in. So from here, Fiant is just flooding. He's just flooding across the map. It's all or nothing. We are loading into Tourmaline. Tourmaline has a very short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored, and we are not joining whatsoever. Just purely Link flooding. Just going for the Link flood. The Queens are waddling across the map. And so far, I believe Shameless doesn't know. He does not know. He's not aware. There goes spot extra Lings. Back at home, can he hold on? Warp Gate is going to be done. Batteries on the way. The Oracles, they do make it back. There's 3 Oracles to defend. And here comes the all-in. Getting us up the first pylon. Forcing the activation of the Pulsar Beam. Queens are moving in. We need those warp-ins, by the way. Shameless. There we go. Now he starts to warp in. He's going to have minimal units to defend. Fiant, he can pull this off. He can pull this off. Now getting to the mineral line. Boys are being pulled. The pylon is going to go down. Oh, diving on the Queens. No transfuse. Oh, they can't transfuse. There's no creep. Yeah, there's no creep here. Every Queen will fall. And now we can just go to town. We can just go to town here. Every Ling will crumble to the might of these Oracles. Jesus, with 4 Oracles, they just melt the Zerglings. And with that, Shameless is holding. Shameless, he is holding. Losing 5 probes. He still has energy left over. We're still trying to rally across the map, still trying to break the 3rd. He's trying, Bab. He's trying. Does get the Adepts. He gets 1. It brings down one of the Adepts. Meanwhile, big shout out to G Knight in the chat. Baby, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 3 months. 3 months with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Baby. Thank you. As we can see here, the Fiancé's running out of steam. He's just running out of steam. Another Queen falls. This is not good enough damage. Back at him, he has 28 Zerglings. Only 28. Again, barely an economy. And with that, we're just trickling out. We're trickling out, running out of steam. Just a handful of Zerglings. The Zealots, they hold their own. Shameless still with the booming economy here. 54 drones, 54 probes. Crazy economy. And Fiant is not stopping. I mean, what can you do? Like, you can't drone from here. No shot. Like, droning from here would not work. Does get 3 probes. And we're just hoping we can maybe try to catch out some Zealots off guard and get a surround and collapse on something. That's the hope, Bappy. That's the hope. Ah. Charge is done. Oof. Charge is complete. We do have Archons now on the way. You can see here Fiant's getting ready for round 2. The hope here is that maybe Shameless is too greedy, right? Maybe Shameless claims a 4th base and he throws down like double Forge and Templar Archives and skips warp ins and is just overly greedy. That's like the one hope here for Fiant. Is that Shameless is overly greedy. We can see that isn't the case. We're getting ready for a delayed Bane bust. Let's go. Ah no, the revelation reveals the Bane nest. Shameless, he knows. Extra Archons. I mean, Archons are ideal against all Ling Bane. Fiant attempts to commit in. We surround. And here come the Oracles. Yeah, the Oracles, they support. GG gets called, and Shameless will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, it was a very shaky start for Fiant. Fiant losing, what, 4 drones at the start of the game. Fiant did decide to go for a massive all-in, going for a Ling Queen all-in. Unfortunately, again, there's no creeps, so transfuse is not a factor. He only had Lings and Queens. And we saw that Shameless had a really tame response, by the way. Like, he almost just did not care. Shameless, he was just, you know, warping a couple of units here and there. He had his 3 Oracles to defensively back at home. He was able to catch out to all the Queens and then just snowball from there. Like, again, the Mass Oracle was more than enough. Not even Mass Oracle, just triple Oracle was more than enough. GG well played with that Link Queen all-in fails, and now we're loading to game number 2. We're hoping for a back and forth. We're hoping for a bit of a series here, but the pressure is on Fiant, and we'll see how we will approach the game on White Rabbit. This time a much larger map, so these all-ins are less effective. They're going to be less effective here. We'll see how Fiant does approach. Let's go. As spawning in the top right corner of White Rabbits, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself, leading the series 1-0, representing Stanley Balls. It is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Swedish Zerg player, the yellow Zerg for Team Ruddy. It is Fiant. We're going for a 13-12. Okay. We're just clowning, but we're clowning. 13-12 here out of Fiant. He's completely all in. With this, he can go for a Link Flood, he can go for a Main Bust. We'll see if he stays in gas after 100 gas, or if he does pull out. If he stays in, then that's indeed with a Main Bust. If he does pull out, it's just a Link Flood. But regardless, hyper aggression out of Fiant. Okay. We're being hyper aggressive. From here, we do see Shameless moving out with his probe scouts. He will confirm lack of expansion, and he should be able to confirm the early tech as well, the early gas and early spawning pool. Shameless moves in. Shameless confirms. Now he knows, and we can see he pulls out. Right, we do pull our gas. Just a Link Flood. There's no banelings or roaches behind this. Back at home, we do have a 2-gate response. Ooh, 2-gate setup here. Delayed expansion into extra zealots and adepts into an extra counterattack as well. So very secure setup here by Shameless. Very secure. And here comes the all-in. We're gearing up for it. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. So 13-12 drone pull back. Let's go. And we'll see if Shameless keeps his probe on the low ground. We shall see. Oh, Zealots attempt this round. Lings, I should say. And they will barely get a couple of extra shots off. Yeah, Zealot is going to fall. Nice pickup. Can we get on top of the pylon? Oh no, can he get in? Oh, he can. Yeah, the reroll is not sufficient. Takes down the gateway. Adept is now out. Force a recall. And we have control of the low ground. We can go for the pylon. We can depower the gateways. At the same time, batteries are on the way in the main. And we gotta keep going. We have to keep going here. Boys are being pulled. We got 3 batteries in the main base. Can they finish it? They finish. Shameless will hold. As things collapse in, probe's gonna be going down. Batteries are finishing. Oof, yeah, batteries are not done. Batteries are complete. So with that, the Shameless, he still has mining, still has more probes. There is no Toast's pylon, but so far it saves it. It does save the pylon. And Fiant, he's going back home. Oof. Does turn around. Fiant is gonna try to macro. He has no mine. he left 1 worker to mine back at home, baby. Aye. So 0 economy here for Fiant. He will take over the low ground. He takes down the cyber core, but the Stargate's already halfway done. Just gotta be careful. Shades further in. Loving use of the shade. And he will barely get away. Barely pulls out, going Void Ray, not Oracle. Being a bit more secure. And Fiant, he has nothing. Fiant has 8 drones on mining. Meanwhile, Shameless, he's got 21. 21 workers. That does not go down. Void Ray is on the way. There's no Queen, there's no anti-air, so the Void Ray will kill everything. Void Ray will kill all. Oof. So far, nice worker micro here by Shameless. Surrounds the Zerglings. Void Ray is out. Fianti does start a queen. Does start a queen. And from here, we're just macro. We're just playing. We're just trying to build up into some kind of early game here. Shameless has a massive lead, a massive advantage, as is up by 10 workers and has a faster natural. Order moving out, hunting down overlords. And again, it's just going to be a very difficult road to recovery here for Fiant. Just because he's so far behind. He was so all in. Yes, he did go back home with some drones. That's true. That's still not good enough. Yeah, still enough. Just now saturating on one base. He's now expanding. Shameless moving in. And behind this, taking out 39 extra gateways, building up his early game setup once again. Does got the would-be expansion. 2 queens in the main, and a spore. Just waiting for the second oracle. Second oracle's moving out. With 3 queens and a spore, we should be able to defend the main. What I'm most concerned by, of course, is saturating the natural. Be the biggest concern. Shameless does expand towards his opponents. Fianta does spot the oracles. Immediately has to evacuate. Immediately pulls away. Oh. And from here we can just go for charge. I mean, there's 2 options here. We can go into blink and just play into the mid game, or go for charge and go for an earlier timing. So Shameless has got options. They look for a way in. Not quite able to. They're looking, baby. They're looking. Sports out of position. With that, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drones. Oh my gosh. Brutal damage. The Spore is now repositioning. Unfortunately, it was just too far to the top side, so it wasn't actually covering the mineral line. So out of position. Shameless does punish. And Shameless is going for earlier charge, so he's going for the earlier push. Just going to be waiting for his Archons. Fiant going for an all-in. The second all-in here for Fiant. Oracles, they scout the roaches. He's without. No, he finds the Ravagers. No, he gets 1. He gets 2. He denies both Ravagers. I wouldn't even be opposed to Fiant just letting them finish. Just letting them finish. As Fiant moves in. The battery is a little bit out of range. Because they still try to catch reinforcements. And the Queens, they do add a lot of DPS here. Unfortunately, there's no transfuse, there's no creep. There's no creep, no lair. Army's collapsing in. Here comes Zella Warpin as well. Bar doesn't connect, and queens are going down. Yeah, catching at 1, 2, 3 queens. The army crumbles, and with that Shameless, he shuts down the all-in. He defends well. GG gets called, and Shameless will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a really rough start for Fiance. The game was decided in the first couple of minutes when he went for the 13-12 drone pool and when the all-in failed. As soon as the all-in failed, I mean, that was game then and there. The game still continued for a couple of minutes as we saw Fiance attempt to drone and saturate his natural and attempt to build up into a later all-in, but it was just such a rough start. Again, he went down to 1 worker mining. one drone was mining. He was able to save at least 7 more workers, race back home. Race back home, but he was just so far behind economically, and with that, GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting to game number into our next series. We're going to be loading into our next series here. It's going to be a best of 3 between Jumy and MiniZerg UA. This is going to be an interesting one. If you remember, this is a rematch. Both these players, they fought for the bronze match. They fought for 3rd place in the previous season of the OSC Rising Star. I would say that MiniZerg is one of the more recent Rising Stars in StarCraft, and Jumy, he's like the previous version of that, where Jumy has been less active as of late. He has been grinding less or playing less, competing less. MiniZerg has been on that grind, and we'll see if experience comes out on top. Jumy is more experienced than MiniZerg. MiniZerg is more in form. We'll see how this goes. Let's go. As we're going to be loading into Ruby Rock for game 1. Let's go. Loading into game 1. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the German Protoss player. We have the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from Ukraine representing Hokago T-Team. It is MiniZerg UA. Let us go. We're getting to our next series. We're getting to our next best of 3 here. And as I mentioned before, Jumy, he is more experienced. I would say in his prime, Jumy is favored 100% against MiniZerg. But MiniZerg has been leveling up quite quickly and quite heavily over the past year of play, getting better and better results, stronger performances in tournaments like this. I would say that an event like OSC Rising Star is built for a player like MiniZerg, and we'll see how far he can go. Bearing in mind, for all the matches that have been concluding here tonight, there is a lower bracket, so there is a safety net for you to fall back on. Bear that in mind. Otherwise, if you're in the chat, predictions now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Coming into this, again, Jumy is still favored. Jumy is still the favorite player, but MiniZerg, he has been improving quite heavily in recent times, and we'll see if he can keep up with Jumy. We'll see if that recent grind set can keep up with, again, like the experience of the Jumy. Jumy. Now we're opening up. When it comes to Jumy's playstyle in PvZ, he's very unorthodox. He often does go for earlier timings and weird builds, which does often catch Zerg players off guard. He rarely plays standard. He can, don't get me wrong, he can play standard. He can go Stargates into a 3rd base, into Oracle, into like Forge and +1, but often Jumy does like to mix things up quite heavily. He can be an animal. An animal. So here we go, we are going to be opening up. Stargate opening here by Jumy. Big Stargates, setting up on 2 bases. Into Oracle, and really what we're looking for here is the timing of the Twilight Council. Does he get it early? Does he get it late? Does he go into Glaives, into Blink, into Charge? That is what we care more about here. Likewise, MiniZerg is typically a reactive player. He's not really one that's overly aggressive, so droning, saturating into our initial 2 and 3 base setup. We'll see if Mini Zerg goes for the Roach Horn or if he goes for the Evo Chamber. See how he spends his gas. As the episode do bust in, they bust into the main base so far. 1, 2 drones gonna be to get to 3. 3 drones do go down. Nice pickups here by Jumy. Does get 3 workers. Behind this, the Oracle is on the way. And from here, Jumy should be expanding. Should be. There's that worker. Meanwhile, thank you so much. Big shout out to Yoko3601 for the subscription. Gracias, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the star. Thank you. Thank you so much. For 9 months. Oh my god. It's a lot of months, man. It's a lot of months. Lings, they poke in. The Oracle's at home to defend. And it is going to be lair first. Ooh, okay. That is what, a 4-minute, if not like 3:55-ish lair timing. So early lair timing here by Mini Zerg, going for a later Evo Chamber and a later Roach Horn. The chamber now gets thrown down after the lair. Interesting. I'm curious to see if we're going for fast lair for fast tech. If we're thinking about fast Hydrodens or fast Spire tech. Typically Spire tech is invested into after we throw down a Roach Horn. Like Roach play favors Muta play a little bit better here in TVP. So leaning away from Mutas and more towards Hydras, but we'll keep an eye on Mini Zerg. Oh, never mind. There's a Roach Horn. Okay. Roach Horn gets thrown down. Are we going for the Spire? For now, only 2 gases. Only 2 gases. Would you have range on the way? Investing into range upgrades. Likewise, Jumy does go for a Gateway Explosion. Shows the upgrades of choice. We're expecting +1 on Blink. That's what we're expecting. There it's not done. Does finish the lair, does get up to 3 gases. Still nothing crazy when it comes to our gas income. Nothing crazy. As looks like there was another pause here. We had a pause in the previous series as well. Hopefully the server is stable. Hopefully. As we undergoing Blink charge. So +1 in charge into the Temple Archives. We're going for an earlier move out, an earlier timing. Jumy committing here with a Charger Archon. At the same time, Mini Zerg is committing into Roach Ravager. Okay, so no further attack. Despite the faster lair, it's just for Roach speed. Now, I'll be honest, I do actually prefer Roach Ravager against Charger Archon. So composition-wise, I do favor Mini Zerg, and we'll see how aggressive he plans on being. So far, he's gotten up to 3 base saturation. I would say the 4th base for Mini Zerg is a little bit late. This should just be for Lava, and now we're just massing up Roach Ravager. Again, we are loading into Ruby Rock. This has a short rush distance by ground. Aggression is more favored here, and the upgrades are about to kick in. So Mini Zerg, he can just send it across the map. Oh, that's a kill! That should not have happened. That's a kill, not a cancel. Getting to the Queens. Awkward trade here for Jumy. And Mini Zerg is soon pushing. He's soon moving out. Who's hiding his roaches? Now it's going to be go time. He's going for the all-in. Now back at home, what is it to defend? Storm may not factor in. It's going to be close. Storm is still on the way. It's not being chronoed yet. But Storm is amassing. And mortar production has begun. And it looks like Storm will be a part of the defense. Yeah, Storm will finish. Mini Zerg, he still has yet to pull the trigger here. Yeah, did we wait too long? Did we wait too long? Now, Roaches, they can tank some storms. That is true. But, I mean, at the same time, storms, they can still annihilate a Roach Ravager army. That FC busts into the mineral line. They get 4 drone kills. Oof. 5. 5 drones go down. And let's go. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing here for Mini Zerg. He's pushing across the map. Jumy now knows. He's throwing down a wall of cannons and shield batteries. Over time, it's going to get better and better for Jumy. Jumy getting +1 flyer attack. Recharger moves in, Link from behind. They distract the main army. Oh, Link's gonna be thrown away. Yeah, he throws away all those Ducklings. The piles ain't crazy. Oh, the Templar only gets soon! Yeah, massive hit goes. He gets 2 Templar. There's 2 left. Storms, they're buying time. They're buying time. I mean, Mizark did throw away all of his Ducklings. That was a little bit wasteful. Well, that was wasteful. But can he break through? The Storm. Running out of Zealots, getting into all the Archons. Oh, as I believe that was the final storm. Yeah, that was currently the final storm. And now we just keep going. Keep going. No, we can't. We can't just back off. Yeah, the more time that passes, the more difficult this is going to be. We gotta commit, Pappy. We gotta commit. Believe, Pappy. Keep going. As another Archon gets focused down, there's soon to be 1 storm. Yeah, there's 1 storm available, but Mizark may just stun it. Yeah, I think he has. Oh no, the Wilds! The Wilds take down the Void Ray. Miscontrol there by Jumy. Immortals are going down. There's that final storm. I said there's still 1 more storm available, so he's down to 1. There's that final storm. And we do see the Roach is breaking through. Yeah, he's breaking through. He's overwhelming in the end. Mizark the Yolin will overwhelm. From here, he snuggles out of control. Takes down the High Templar. And he's pushing into the bases. Oh, did I speak too soon? Did I speak too soon? Again, he's so close to breaking through. We're down to 2 Immortals and 3 Zealots. Now 3 Immortals, but against a pure Roach army. Immortals, they're terrifying. They're terrifying. I mean, again, he's so close to killing Jumy. He's so close. Jumy making 2 Voiders at a time. Oh no. It's making 2 Voiders at a time. Nice save, nice control. He's now up to 4 Immortals. 4 Immortals. Roaches, they try to slip into the bases. Try to slip in. Once again, nice control here by Jumy, saving the Immortals. Roaches, they do push into the mineral line. They're pushing into the bases. The Archon once again barely saved. With sheer micro control, can Jumy hold on with all these Immortals? Can he just juggle his heart out and hold with 4 Immortals? I think he can. It's possible. Saying that, did still lose 12 probes. Now getting to 5 Immortals. And Link's putting in. 3 damage with the Void Rays. 3 damage. Oh, but Link's getting to the main. Plus into the main base. Storm once again turning. Another Wilds, he's not looking. Oh my god. Another Void Ray goes down. Again, miscontrol here by Jumy. Losing a 2nd Void Ray to Miles. And he's doing damage if he will lose everything. Once again, the juggling here with these Immortals is insane, and we clean up the entire army. And is this good enough? That's the real question here. Jumy, he's on 3 bases. He's on 47 workers. He's working on +3 attack, by the way. Working on +3. He's got double Stargate production. A Storm. Mizark, thankfully, behind this is taking out of Roaches into Hydras. So he's going to a more efficient composition. Much more efficient. He's building up his Hydras. Just like last time, Mizark, he's hiding his army. He's choosing not to drone. Choosing not to drone, not to take another base. Mizark just wants to end it. He just wants to end it. see if we can pull this off. Lings, they peel off into the mineral line. Ooh. Immortal goes down. And the Immortal does fall. 13 probe kills. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Oof. So far, that's going to be 15 probe kills. Mini-Zerg starts stepping in. Does tank a storm. Oh god. Yeah, the storms are brutal. Hydras are melting to the storms, and this time he's getting out of hand. We've been preserving these Immortals the entire game. Now 5 Immortals. +3 is now done. We're getting messy. We're getting messy. Mini-Zerg, he just wants to kill him. He just wants him to just tap out. Tap out, baby. And again, he's close, but at this point, I'm just concerned with the main army's turning into here for Jumy. Setting up for the run by. Mini-Zerg now taking up. At this point, Jumy is held. Jumy, he has held, and soon he can move out across the map. Like, this army is, again, becoming terrifying. Cells heading out of the 5th base. Six shrines going down. And Jumy's pushing. There's a reason why he's not expanding. He's just going for 3-base all-in. Yeah, massive 3-base all-in. I'll be honest, I don't think Mini-Zerg can stop this. The soup is lying to you. The soup is lying. Because there's just so many Archons, High Templar, and Storms. I usually catch out one of the Void Rays. And Mini-Zerg, he needs to surround. He needs to come in from multiple angles. He cannot come in from one just main push. Because that's when Storms excel. He's getting Archon. Oof. Storm does punish. Another base goes down. Now Jumy's coming in 4th base. He's starting to out macro Mini-Zerg. Mini-Zerg gotta end it. He's trying. Splits up his army. So does Jumy. Jumy, he's defending. Storm lands. Defends against the main army. Likewise, Ling Run By doesn't achieve much damage either. Jumy's moving in. Oof. Another storm. And again, that quote-unquote supply lead that we saw earlier, like, it's gone. As you mentioned, like, the soup was lying to you. The quality of the army for Jumy was greater. Again, it's such a dense army here of Immortal, Archon, Storm, like, in High Templar. It's crazy. This army is insane. Like, this is a death pool, like, 100%. And no longer can Mini-Zerg deal with this. Not easily. Now, Lurkers will help, 100%. Like, Ling Queen Nidus, sorry, Ling Queen Hydra will just crumble. Ling Queen? What? Ling Bane Hydra. I'm sleepy. So it was a long cast last night. Lurkers, they can excel. Oh, yeah, massive lurker shots going off. Mini-Zerg, if he fights with these lurkers, then he can hold, he can survive. He can take a fight. Hive is now done. Lurker range is on the way. Jumy now taking a bit of Sky Toss. No shot we turn this into a late game. Like, no, no shot. Jumy rotates. Mini-Zerg, he's late to respond. Oh, he's on the low ground. Yeah, Mini-Zerg gets out of position. This base should fall. Down goes the expansion. Down goes the mineral line. It's all crumbling here for Minizerg, and he just kind of pushed into the army. And Jumy, he backs up. Yeah, again, he does not have to move into this. Like, Jumy can just back up and work towards the natural. And he will. And he moves in. Zerg brings a melt. The Hydras, they stand in the storms. All sorts of lurkers. And we're going for the kill. We're going for the kill. GG gets called. And Jumy, he survives the all-in, and he will claim game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very impressive defense there by Jumy. Again, things were looking dire. Things looking very, very dire there for Jumy. Initially, it looked like Minizerg was gonna do it. Looks like he was gonna pull it off. But as we saw there, Minizerg, he did run out of steam. He did wait a little bit too long with his roaches, in my opinion. Just giving his opponent time to build up more High Templar, to build up more of a greater, robust army with more immortal production. And eventually, Jumy held on. It was close, though. It was still very, very close. Still very close. As we're now loading into game number 2. Gonna be on Old Republic for the first time tonight. Loading into a bit of a larger map. Longer rush distance. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the red Zerg player, the Ukrainian Zerg representing Hokago T-Team. It is Minizerg UA. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss, leading the series 1-0 for Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. Let us go as we are building up here. Again, Jumy does have that 1-0 lead. It's barely surviving the all-in here from Minizerg. Now we're loading into a larger map, longer rush distance by ground. I will say that the 3rd and 4th base on this map are a little bit more difficult to defend, so we could see some aggression out of Minizerg. The other option, of course, is Mutaplay. Because the map is a little bit larger here, Mutaplay is a little bit more viable as well. So Minizerg, he has options. He has options with how to approach, how to pull this off. Don't forget to stretch. Don't forget. So here we are just building up. Hatch gas pool out of Minizerg. Likewise, gate expand out of Jumy. Everything's looking normal. Everything's looking as it should. And yeah, Minizerg, he was looking quite impressive last game. Quite impressive. Again, he just barely didn't have enough to break the defensive line of Jumy. Coming into here game number 2, we're expecting more mid-game aggression. As I mentioned, the 3rd and 4th base are a little bit more exposed and open, so those are prime targets. Typically, we want to build up to like 3 base saturation, and then go for like a 6-6 worker, 3 base all in, 4th base just for lava. Otherwise, as I mentioned before, Mutaplay is viable here. Because the map is a little bit larger, it is safer to go into something like Mutaplay to catch your opponent off guard. We spoke with this last night during the GSL qualifiers, but mutas are heavily reliant on your opponent and not scouting and not able to scout and respond. But if they do get eyes and wind of what you're doing, then they can shut you down. That is an insanely fast Roach Warren. Oh my god. At a 2:14 Roach Warren timing. Okay, Minizerg, that's crazy. He also stays in gas. Yeah, he stays in gas. So we're going for an all-in. We're going for a very early all-in. This is usually ill-advised on on Old Republic, just because of the rush distance. But because it's ill-advised, this can maybe catch a player off guard. If Jumy's being too greedy, then he can get caught out if he fails to scout. Oh boy. But again, Minizerg, he's not droning. He's not going to drone. Roach production's underway. It's going to be a Ling Roach all in or a Ling Ravager all in. It's all off of 1 Gas Geyser as well. Okay. Okay. And again, inside the Minizerg kills Jumy or he dies trying. Adepts, they threaten the shade. They do spot the roach. Big scouts. Oh, that was huge. Yeah, he scouts immediately shield battery. Yeah, immediately shield battery on the way. So Jumy, he scouts the all-in. He's racing back home. He's setting up defensively already. He can from here make a couple of void rays. Mini Zergie's been found out. He's been found out. Ah. And let's say shade back. Makes it back home. We already have an oracle. We have more oracles on the way. Not going void ray, which is a little bit risky. Mizurk, he just scouted for the third base. He saw there's no third, and no shot. He turns around. So Mini-Zerg, upon seeing no third expansion, he's like, oh, this all-in is not going to work. And I would agree, it's not going to work. So Mini-Zerg, he turns everything back around. Oh, we're a little bit indecisive here, but he turns back around. He now starts to drone up, making some workers. The Oracle's here to punish. Mini-Zerg a little bit indecisive, now committing to the all-in. So going a bit back and forth here. Yeah, Mini-Zerg now starts droning, but again, the droning is so late. Oh, God. And what he's doing here is he's forcing Jumy to stay on 2 bases, and Jumy can soon turn this defense into an offense and just turn this into his own 2-base all-in instead. Yep, realizing he does not need the batteries. Immortal production has begun. Jumy's in a much stronger position. He's got the better economy, higher worker counts, can soon expand. Oracles, they punish the 3rd base, limited queens. How many queens do we have? They're not quite in position. There's 3 of them, but 4 drone kills, getting up to 5, getting up to 6. Do we get 7? Not quite. 6. 6 drone kills. Ah. Okay, now we're getting desperate. Here. We're going for the Spire. Once again, so Mini-Zerg, he's in a rough position. He just went for a failed all-in, so the droning, the saturation. You can even see it here. We have 36 drones to 53. Oh, God. As the Queen gets sniped. But again, the saturation just is not there. There is no economy. The Oracle goes into the main base. Doesn't get much eyes on anything here as the Spire is hidden at the natural. So this is what I meant when I said desperation. We're going into 2-base Muta. It's very late, very delayed, but it is hidden here at the natural. Hey, if you remember, we spoke about Muta play at the very beginning of this game, talking about how, hey, Muta play can be viable here on Old Republic because it's a little bit larger, it's harder to punish, harder to scout as well. That is true, but this is Muta's after a failed all-in. This is not your typical 2-base Muta play, so it's very, very delayed. It's going to be very stifled. There's not much economy to work with. It's a big risk, a big gamble here. Mini-Zerg, he needs Jumy to just give him time to back off. Checking vision. Jumy does not see. So there is potential at least. As Oracle's got a revelation, they do not scout the tech. Oh no, he gets in. There he gets in. He scouts the Spire. He knows. Jumy, he's fully aware. Behind this, we can start Phoenix production. There we go. Phoenix is on the way. Cannon, shield battery, static defense. Just turtling up back at home. Also an air attack on the way. Mini-Zerg does move out towards the natural, and he will find some probes. True. Does find some workers. Behind this, we have our Ling rush towards the 3rd base with the armies in position. Mini-Zerg has to be careful. Be careful, man. as he does go for the dive. He attempts to snipe the High Templar. Storms they punish. Phoenixes they can chase. And we can see Minizerg making a switch into roaches. He's got Mass Roach on the way behind this, focusing and fixating on the ground army. If Jumy overreacted and maybe went like double Stargate, double Phoenix production, then Jumy would be in trouble. But he has Immortals. He's solid. He's fine. The enemies they try to commit in, they dive in the Archon. Ooh, massive shots going off. Force fields, they lock down the roaches, and that's every Mutalisk being thrown away. No Mutalisk left. As Jolin is coming. Again, does have a decent roach count, but that's what the Immortals are for. They lift the Ravagers, no more Biles. Roaches they get locked in. Massive force fields. Catching out, looking down the army. Good. He tanks the storms, he just goes in. Yeah, brutal storms, oracles activate their pulsar beams, Immortals they go to town, and every roach will crumble. Again, the Immortals they just have their way with the roaches. They like it, they like it. Now we begin the Sky Toss. Mothership, carrier production. Sky Toss is now on the way. Same time means they move that across the map. They stood on Minizerg. And these roaches have to find some damage here. It was such a big investment. It was such a big investment. Hey, it does pick up some zealots. That's some miscontrol by Jumy. Does throw some zealots away. Jumy pulling back, trying to build up a Roach Hydra army. It's a very mid-tier composition here by Minizerg. Jumy is working on 2-2. 2 upgrades, 2 more Stargates. Mass Sky Toss. A nice catching on 2 Immortals. Once again, miscontrol by Jumy. Second time. Second time there's a miss rally. That's what Minizerg is hoping for. These crucial missteps, throwing away key units. That's the hope, Pappy, that's the hope. And the game will continue. The game will progress. Again, by no means, I mean, Minizerg has been playing from behind since the beginning here. He's been trying. Zealots to get across the map, they cripple the economy. Again, there's just not enough supply to defend back at home at the same time. And Jumy breaks out. Here we go. Jumy, he finally pushes for the first time the entire game. He actually pushes across the map. Takes down the expansion. He doesn't have enough to push up the ramp. There's just too much Roach Hydra. Too much Roach Hydra. So Jumy pulls in, pulls out. Once again, just ensuring that Minizerg can't build up economically. Just ensuring. here comes Jumy's Death Ball. It's coming. So what, 3 storms? There's 1. And 1 storm with the Roach Ravager. Corruptors that dive in. 2nd storm with the Roaches. And we got 1 storm left. We're holding on to it. Oh god, the Corruptors are here. They cannot hold their own. They do focus on 1 carrier. Corruptors are thrown away. GG gets called, and Jumy, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Again, I will say the game 1 was very close. Game 1 was very, very close, and honestly, I can see a world where Minizorik, he takes game 1 and we go to the ace match, but again, Jumy, he barely held on in game 1 against the all-in. He was able to recover, able to build up, stabilize, and snowball from there, so Jumy had a very impressive defense in game 1. Here in game 2, again, it was a little bit more brutal. Unfortunately, Minizorik, he got scattered early. So Jumy was more than ready for the all-in. Minizorik, he tried to drone, but was droning from behind, then he went for the all-in anyway. It did fail, and it was just and then behind that he tried desperately to go into mutas, which also got scattered. So just a very, very rough play there by Minizorik. He was playing from behind from almost the beginning. Game 1 again was more competitive. Game 1 was more competitive. Game 2, Jumy, he scattered, he held. GG, well played. With that, Jumy, he will claim the series. He will advance on into the next round. And up next, we have a PvP. It's going to be a Protoss vs Protoss matchup between Lilix and UED Soldier. Ooh, okay. Now we are going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have our next matchup. We'll have next series. When we come back, we'll have our upcoming matches. So one more anthem. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we return. We return here with the OSC Rising Star number 19, day 2. We've had a couple of matches so far here. We just wrapped up with our initial 3 best of 3s with Baymarine versus Defiance, Shameless versus Fiant, and Jumy versus Mini Zerg UA. And now we're getting into the second half of the broadcast. We have more matches ahead of us here. First is going to be a random versus Protoss matchup, Hackers Top versus Hydra. We're getting ready for the clowns, Bappy. Yeah. Again, it's still the early rounds of the tournament, and a lot of the bigger names have still yet to face off against each other. This will be an interesting one, though. Again, Hackers Top, for those who don't know, he is I think, is he the only top tier random player out there? Like, when I think, obviously there's like random players on the ladder, I suppose, but when it comes to competitive play, when it comes to consistent signups as random, Hackers Top I think is the only one. I'm trying to think of other players in current like active StarCraft, and I don't think there is. So yeah, Hackers Top, he might be like the highest rated random player out there, and he's hyper cheesy. As you can imagine, he's hyper cheesy, hyper aggressive. Now there's a caveat to that as well. Fun fact, you don't have to, but Hackers Top, he does actually tell his race every time to his opponent. Does tell his race, but I'm pretty sure he comes up with his own builds. Like, he has some wild stuff that he tries to make work, and sometimes it does, which is a lot of fun, and other times it just falls on its face. Like, it's very hit and miss, very hit and miss. So I'm excited to see how this does turn out, as we're going to be loading into our random versus Protoss matchup. Likewise, Hydra, he has been around for quite some time. He was also a Rising Star a couple of years ago. I know that nowadays he is focusing on his studies, so he's playing a little bit less StarCraft, but he's still, you know, being as active as he can be. Still playing in OSC tournaments on a regular basis. Coming into this, our Protoss player is favored, but we'll see how our random performs. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Ukrainian random player landing as Terran. Wait, no. I think he just played straight up as Terran. Ah. Representing Hokage T team, it is Hacker is Top. Okay, wait, okay. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself from the land of the Netherlands. It is a Hydra. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be moving out here, we have the initial proxy as the SCV does move out across the map. We have the racks at home, SCV across the map. We do have some shenanigans abound. Curious if the plan here is to go for a proxy second racks, or if we go into something more sinister, into a factory follow-up. As gases are being taken, the SCV does hide here towards the left-hand side. Show us what she got. He's just randomly tearing. Let's go. Let us go. So now we have our second gas on the way. Rax is across the map. Hydra does move in. Does scout, does confirm. And he will see one Rax, he will see 2 gases. Everything's looking normal for the time being. Everything is looking normal. Making a safety zealot just in case. Does confirm the second gas. This typically means a factory follow-up. And Hydra's looking for that factory. He's on patrol. You can see the SCV in position here. Yeah, does fully wall off. Very suspicious. And Reapers are amassing. Amassing of those Reapers. Again, one from across the map, one from back at home. Hydra did make the safety zealot just in case. Safety zealots. And Hacker Sub is moving out. He's moving out. Again, reinforcing with 2 Reapers at a time. He's rotating into the main. He won't find a way in. Yep, there's a full wall. Just nibbling away at the pylon. Behind us, going for the factory. Proxy factory. Proxy factory, let's go. Is going for the proxy. As Reapers, they barely do pull away. They barely pull out. From here, we can go into a tech lab and a proxy tank. Yeah, we do have the tech lab on the way. We can go for tanks, we can go for cyclones. They both have value here. But so far, the initial Reapers haven't really done much. They have no pay for themselves. As Reapers are being chased down, he pulls back to the proxy. Ooh, one Reaper falls, massive pickoff. Down to 2. And it is proxy tank. Okay. We're going proxy tank. So far, Hydra, he's defending well. He's getting his battery up and running. We're throwing down extra gateways. There is no robo. That'd be a bit of a secure way to defend. Instead, we're going for a heavier gate count instead. And we'll see if we can get on top of the tank. The goal here should be for the tank to move within range of the production. And ideally, you want everything else to just buffer for the tank. Just keep it alive. As the tank is moving in. We'll siege. Siege up, they'll stay on the gateway. Takes on the gates. Now going for the pylon. Nice pickup. Pylon does go down. First off, he's going to slowly move in. Takes on the battery, getting us off the gateway as well. And we mentioned this earlier here. Again, there's no defensive robo, there's no immortal production. The tanks, now they saw them siege up. This is too much. He's trying to move in, but the tanks, they punish. Yeah, nice target firing. He does focus on the stalkers, and well, he just snowballs out of control. He snowballs out of control. He breaks through the stalkers, takes them all down. There's nothing left, warping in one unit at a time. One stalker to defend, Pappy. Ay. Stalker goes down. GG gets called, and Hacker Sub takes game number 1. GG. Takes the lead in the series here. Again, Hydra here, when it comes to these proxy tanks, you need to be able to get on top of those tanks ahead of time. Hydra, he opted not to go for the robo. He was working towards Blink. He was building up his gateways. He wasn't able to engage. You need to fight for the low ground. You need to fight for that proxy location. To be fair, I don't think he saw the proxy factory, right? I don't think he took note of that. Obviously, he knew those were proxy racks and proxy reapers, but I think the factory did catch him off guard with his pants down, and with that, GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game 2, and we'll see if Hacker Stuff can close this out. We're expecting more aggression, more all-ins is what we're expecting. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of GgMaChine, we have, this is quite a map. We actually didn't really get to mention it, but we are loading into a map that has been added to this tournament map pool. For OSC, they do actually add older maps into the map pool. Bear that in mind as we're going for a 13-12. And in the bottom hand corner, we have the Ukrainian random player, the landing a Zerg, by the way, the purple Zerg, going for a 13-12. It is Hacker is Top. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the Protoss himself. From the land of the Netherlands, it is Hydra. So 13 gas, 12 pool, that means Link Flood. That typically means Link Flood. Technically, we can go for an earlier Bane than us for a Bane Bust, but Bane Busts are ill-advised in ZVP. Technically, you can turn this into a Roach Rush as well, but we're expecting Link Speed, then you pull out of gas. You pull out of gas, and then you might even pull the boys. If you recall, we saw Fian do that earlier. Fian went for the 13-12 and pulled the boys. So eyes are on Hacker is top. As Hydra picks in. Confirms Link Speed, confirms the early gas. We do see Hacker Stop does pull out. And Hydra knows. From here, he should be walling off. He should prioritize the second gateway and a wall. There's a cyber core. And again, we should be walling off. Just fully walling off here. Pylon delays the expansion. Nicely done. I believe the goal here is to expand behind this. Oh, as once again we delay. Expansion is delayed there. We go hatchery, now gets thrown down. Here comes the Link Flood. Oh, he cancels. Oh, he does cancel. Okay, we're committing. We pull the boys. The boys are being pulled. We're 100% all in. Either Hacker Sub, he kills Hydra, or he dies trying. It's all or nothing. Rallying everything across the map. Hydra back at home. He does fully wall. The second gateway, battery, second pylon, and the zealot. So far, Zealot's in whole position. Oh, gotta be careful. If he's not too careful, he will get surrounded. So he needs to be careful here. Drones a duel past the zealots. They come in from behind. They get on top of the zealots. They get surrounded. Yeah, Zealot will go down. Adept as well. Massive pickoffs. No shot. Takes down the Zealot. Takes down the Adept. The batteries are finishing. We have 2 Adepts on the way. Boys are being pulled. And we're focusing on the gateway. Okay. Oh, wait. No, sorry. He's focusing on the wall. The cyber core. He's trying to. Mass worker drilling. Oof. And he barely will break on through. Bust in. And he goes into the main. Yeah, he just ignores the low ground. He goes into... Oh, he tries to go into the main base, trying to get reddish around. Ah, the batteries are done, though. Yeah, both batteries are complete. And with that, these Adepts are not going to go down. Yeah, reduced service area Adepts they're holding. They're slowly killing everything. More boys are being pulled. They're coming to support. They're coming to support. And with that, yeah, Hydra holds. Hydra, he does hold. Cleans up the army. GG gets called. And Hydra ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting into the ace match here. Again, Hydra, he was able to set up here back at home on the low ground, able to scout across the map with his probe, confirm the all-in coming his way, and prepare. He did not confirm the drone drilling and the workers being pulled, but he was ready for the re-wall, right? He was ready for the wall off behind the zealots, and with that, he was able to buy enough time for the batteries to finish up. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. Going to be loading into the Old Republic. Oh boy. No race notification. Yeah, I mean, Hackerstop, he always says what race he's playing. But I would imagine because of the wall off. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, because he's saying it here, letting him know that he's Protoss, I'm pretty sure that he probably PM'd a Hydra the race, because otherwise, in game 1, if you remember, Hydra, he went for a Reaper wall-off, and game 2, Hydra went for a low-ground wall-off. Reaper wall-off against Terran, and he went for low-ground wall-off against Zerg. So Hydra was playing as if he knew, and he wasn't saying anything in the chat. So I'm pretty sure either they were in the same party, and Hackerstop told him in party chat, or he DM'd him. Otherwise, the opener would not have made sense. And even here, like, this is a PvP opener. So spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player. The Ukrainian Protoss, the purple Protoss representing Hokago T-Team. It is Hacker is Stuck. And spawning in the bottom-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands. It is Hydra. So based on Hydra's builds and openers in the past 2 games, he was playing as if he knew what Hackerstop was playing. So I would imagine they were either in the same party or he just DM'd him, whispered him. So here we go. And true, as Hackerstop said, playing all the races. One of each. Now it's time for a PvP, Pappy, and Hackerstop. He will hide the pylon, but it looks like a fake out. Looks like a fake proxy pylon out of Hackerstop. Hydra going for scouting. Okay. For a moment I was like, is he gonna go for an all-in? Oh, hello. Okay. Hackerstop going for a fake out. Hydra going for a very real proxy instead. Based on its location, it's looking like a proxy Stargate. Looking like a proxy Stargate into Oracle. It's not looking like a one-base all-in. But we'll see. Waiting for the Cybercore. Cybercore is finishing. He's going for the one-base all-in. This is a really bold location. It's pretty far away, right? As you can see here, it's pretty far away, so that's why I thought it was going to be a Stargate, as it is closer by air, but no, it's still going to be a robot opener. It's going to be a one-base all-in out of Hydra. Bold position. We'll see if he can pull this off. As again, it does mean these reinforcements from the robo are going to be delayed. Oh, 2-gate opener into a Nexus. Wait, Hackerstop, these scouts? No, no scouting. They're both animals. Like, Hydra didn't probe scout into the main base, neither did Hackerstop. He has zero information as to what's going on, and he's going for the faster Nexus. I think he's just dead. I think that's just game, I'll be honest. Like, it's just very difficult. It's very difficult to defend given this position. We have the batteries on the way. Immortal production has begun. I mean, thankfully, the Robo is far away. True, so there's that factor as well, right? It's going to take longer for the Immortal to reinforce and to get across the map. We're getting a proxy pylon to warp in. Makes sense. Hydra poking forward. Doesn't quite get the sentry. Oh, but the sentry's getting low. This is all before the battery is done. Hefty damage on those sentries. And we do try to force field him in. Catching at one, not bad. One Stalker goes down. There's the edge overcharge. Hackers up. Sorry, Hydra pulls away. Now here comes the Immortal. And it's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold. The boys are being fooled. The desperation here by Hacker is top. He's going to pull the boys. He does lock him in. He locks in the Immortal. And can he get a kill? He can. Massive pick off. The Immortal goes down. Catching out a Stalker as well. Oh my god. Crazy force fields. Hacker stop. He's completely shutting down the all-in. Catching out the Stalker, the Sentry, the Immortal. Heavy losses there for Hydra. He's running out of steam. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Hacker stop. He has natural. He has the natural base up and running. And the MVPs this game were the force fields. The force fields are the MVPs. Catching out Stalkers, catching out Immortals. Hydra jumping into the main, going for the force field. Okay. Speaking of the force fields being MVPs, does force field the ramp? We can't get in. No, he can't get in. He's trying. There's an Immortal though. Yeah, there's the Immortal. The force shield runs out. There's no follow-up. Yeah, no follow-up. Defensive Robo, defensive Immortal production. If Hydra had a little bit more momentum to warp into the main base, he could have maintained his position and just kept force fielding, but just didn't have the numbers. Hacker self does overextend. Losing one, losing 2 sentries. Oh. Yeah, big overextension, losing a Stalker as well. All this out of range of the battery. Messy play here from Packers stop. It's getting messy. Oh. And once again, boys are being pulled. And can he hold on? He does have 2 Immortals. And he can afford to pull the boys. He can afford them. Picking up the Zealots. Getting on top of the pylon. A couple of birds are thrown away a little bit unnecessarily. Oh, his Hacker saw his macro was slipping. His macro was slipping. He still maintains control of the high ground. Catching out the Stalkers, once again locking him in with the force fields. Still a better fight for Hacker's top. But again, he did miss a couple of macro cycles. Did miss some warpins. Behind this, oh my god, we're desperate. Okay. We're going for Novas. Going for Disruptors. That's the way to make this work. You can make this work. Here comes the first Nova. Bearing in mind that Hacker Stoppy chose not to get to War Prism, we could have seen instead of 1 more Immortal, 1 War Prism to juggle back. So steps in, the Nova goes up and does connect, strips away the shields. Yeah, shields are stripped away, he's gonna lose 1, 2 Immortals, 3 Immortals gonna be going down. Barely that final Immortal. And Hydra here overwhelms. Yeah, he overwhelms, and again, that massive Nova here was crucial to the fight. Despite that, Hydra still doesn't actually break through. Oh, the Nova! Be careful! Oh no! And there he goes off. Nice whip. Nice whip by Hacker's top. Again, that was maybe the best fight that Hydra could have hoped for, but it's still not enough. He's gotta get out of here. He needs to pull out. Nova's ready. Yeah, the Nova is ready. Building up to 2 Immortals. he does move forward here into the Nova. That's one Stalker going down. Hacker's up now, and now he has his own War Prism. He can micro. He can control. Yeah, he commits in. Oof, catching out one of the Stalkers, going for the other. Nice pick up micro. Does control. There he goes off. Ooh, he does save it. He saves the Immortal. And with that no shot, but Hacker himself, he's doing it as the defensive player as well, by the way. As a defending player, he cleans up the all-in, getting on top of the Robo. Again, so far as microing well, the Immortal's getting low. Ooh, the Immortal does get low. He needs to be careful here. There he goes off. Ooh, catching up 3 Zealots. The value. It's on Hacker stop. Bit of miscontrol. But GG gets called. He still overwhelms, and Hacker Stop will claim the series 2-1, knocking down Hydra. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Hacker Stop. He will claim the series. He will claim the series 2-1. Big win here for Hacker Stop. Hydra, he was favored coming into it, but no, he does get knocked down. As I mentioned before, Hydra has been playing less StarCraft. He's focusing on his studies, but he still has time to play the OSC, the OSC Rising Star, but alas, does fall here. Does fall in the first round. He does have a second chance, second life in the lower bracket. Best of luck. Best of luck here to Hydra as he is knocked down, and Hacker Stop does advance on. Up next, we have our next series. It's going to be a ZVZ here between GgMaChine and Hatsu. Oh boy. Jumy knows ZVZ here, and once again, GgMaChine, if you remember, he was the finalist. He was the finalist of the previous OSC Rising Star. So GgMaChine, he's one of the favorite players to go far to face off against Shameless in those finals. We'll see if he can make it there. We'll see if he can have a strong start to the tournament. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the orange Zerg player representing Stowny Balls. It is GgMaChine. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Hatsu. Of course, a big shout out to Hatsu. Hatsu has been hosting tournaments as of late. I think it was last week, it did host the Hatchery Cup. Hatchery Cup was hosted. So a big shout out to Hatsu for hosting events for the community, for the scene, for the greater StarCraft, of course. So big shout out to Hatsu. Again, the Hatchery Cup, I believe, was won by Björn. Again, that was like, I wouldn't say that was last week or the week before that. Has been opened up to the rest of the world in a global setting, of course. As we're opening up gas first. So gas pool into a delayed hatchery, hyper aggression out of Hatsu. With the earlier gas timing, this means early link speed. Early link speed, and it usually means early banelings, and it leads into link bane aggression. So hyper aggression here by Hatsu. Meanwhile, GgMaChine going hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool. Standard opener here out of our orange Zerg. Playing standard. Opening up. Let's go. Oh, no, sorry, if you're in the chat. True. I do apologize. I did forget predictions for the Hacker Sub series. I was just so engrossed in the game because of the proxy factory. I was like, I was engrossed, man. And now we're settling into game number, into our penultimate series. Bearing in mind that after this series, we have one more left. It is going to be Moja versus Art. Este Moja. That'll be after this matchup. My apologies, I assumed that Hatsu was going for a Ling Bane all-in with fast gas into Ling speed, but no, it's going to be a Ling Roach all-in instead. Ooh, okay, so it's going to be a couple of Roaches with Ling Flood support, still an all-in, bear that in mind, just a different variation of all-in, one that I'm less familiar with, I'll be honest, in ZVZ specifically. Don't often see this kind of setup. The Overlord does confirm how late the hatchery is, so we have an early Spine Crawler from GgMaChine, early Spine, into an early Bane nest as well. This is ideal against a Ling Bane all-in, but Hatsu is going into Roaches instead. Bearing in mind this is off of only 18 workers, so Hatsu cannot afford too many Roaches. It's not going to be too heavy of a Roach count, it's mainly going to be about the Ling reinforcements, with the Roaches being the core of the army. Oh no, we scout! Yeah, Lings they poke in, they get a full scout of the main base, and GgMaChine, he does get eyes on the Roach Warren, he knows. He knows, he's aware. Baneling Nest is cancelled. As I mentioned, the Banelings are ideal against a Ling Flood, a Ling All-In, or Ling Bane, but against Roaches, Banelings, they do nothing. So it does cancel. Massing up Lings. Pushing forward the Spine Crawler. And the longer this game goes on, the worse it's going to be for Hatsu. Hatsu is completely all in. And we're sending it. Lings are flying across the map. Roaches are moving out as well. And can Hatsu surround the Queens? Oh, not quite. Yeah, Queens, they pull back in time. Ravagers now morphing in. They'll help shell away at the spine. They will help. As bars are coming. Oh, the repositioning though. Yeah, Spine Crawler does reposition. One Queen gets surrounded. So do the Ravagers. Yeah, Ravagers also get surrounded as well. It's going to be 1-2 Ravagers falling. One Queen does go down, but the Lings, they overwhelm. They clean everything up. And from here, GgMaChine can just snowball out of control, flood across the map, and there is nothing to defend. We have some Lings in production. Again, no saturation of the low ground, no Queens either. We have one Queen in the main. Ooh, now going for a reactive Baneling Nest. I mean, that would be ideal if we had time, but the problem is that GgMaChine is already here. He's already here. And GG. GG gets called. GgMaChine will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG will play. GgMaChine, who will claim a lead in the series. Winding it back here again, a crazy all-in from Hatsu, going for an early gas into an early pull into not your typical Ling Flood or Ling Bane all-in, but a Ling Roach all-in instead. And it can work, but the problem here is that GgMaChine is scouted. If you remember, he was able to scout the later expansion, so he reacted very quickly with an early Baneling Nest and an early Spine Crawler, and then he rescouted with the Lings. He was able to get into the main base, he confirmed the Roaches, he was fully aware of the all-in, so GgMaChine knew not to drone. He knew not to drone, knew not to saturate. He was set up back at home, and now we're getting into our next game. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the runner-up of the last OSC Rising Star. We have the orange Zerg player for Stouty Balls. It is GgMaChine. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes, going for a 12 pool. Oh. Going for a 12-13. Interesting gas timing. You have my attention. We have our pink Zerg player for the Planet Heroes. It is Hatsu. Not a 12-11. This is a 12-13. So the 12 pool indicates, of course, early Ling production. The gas timing is a little bit odd. I'm not too certain what the plan here is. It is still an early gas, so we can go into a Ling Flood, but this is going to hit later than a 13-12. Right? 13-12 is gas first. Here it's pool gas. So curious as to what the gas is going to be spent on and how we pull this all together here. Just because, yeah, we're expanding. What was the purpose of the early pool? Yeah, Hatsu is expanding. So the pool is just sitting there. Now we have a couple of Lings on the way, but they're delayed. So the build is it's messy. It's a messy build here for Hatsu. Initially 12 full, and then we went for the gas, and then we still went for the expansion behind that anyway, despite the gas. The expansion here, I believe, is designed to throw off Hatsu's opponents, to throw off GgMaChine, to make it look like a more or less standard opener, when really we're going for a Ling Flood, but we're staying in gas. We're staying in gas, which means Bane Bust or a Roach Rush. But if it's going to be Roaches, it's going to be heavily delayed because of the hatchery. And it is going to be Banelings. Okay. So again, it's a little bit wonky when it comes to the build itself. I believe the plan here is, again, to make it look like we're playing more standard, and then bam, you catch GgMaChine with the spans down with a Bane Bust. Right? I think that is the goal here, is to make the build try to look a little bit inconspicuous. I mean, it's kind of working. GgMaChine this time, he doesn't react too hard. Moving out with Lings and Scouts. GgMaChine is droning. It's droning up. Lings, they do sit by, and there's no Queens to defend, so we get a full Scout. Oof. Now, with GgMaChine getting into the main base, you can click on the gas. Yep, you can check the gases, he confirms the Baneling Nest, he confirms the all-in, he knows. And GgMaChine is fully aware, back at him, he fully walls off, oh my god, with the Evo Chambers. Does fully wall. Spine Crawler's on the way. GgMaChine amassing up lings, sending down both queens. A very strong response here from GgMaChine. And here comes the Bane Bust. But now there's a full wall. Oh, God. I mean, this one we're committed. Like, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. There's no turning back from this. We turn back. Never mind. Hatsu does turn around. Now we start to drone. Hatsu is far behind in the economy. And GgMaChine takes up. Lair is on the way. Droning is happening. Gases as well. I understand the rationale as to why Hatsu turns away, but we are so far behind. Like, all this could have been drones, could have been workers. Now, there are ways to make this work here in ZVZ. We can try to go for a later 2-base all-in with roaches. We can go into Mutaplay, for example. Oh. Cheeky move there by Hatsu, here hiding the Baneling, but alas, GgMaChine does check. Oh no! Ooh. Not too bad here. We got 3 Banelings for 7 lings. GgMaChine trading well. Trading minerals for gas. GgMaChine forces out more Ling Bane when Hatsu needs to be droning, and it is going to be 2-base Lair out of GgMaChine. Ooh. Yeah, going for the fast Lair. I mean, especially with the most recent buff to the Spire, I mean, Mutaplay has been very much for the craze in ZVZ. To try to get into mutas. Speaking of, Hatsu also going for the Spire, also going for mutas as well. As I mentioned, this has been the trend in ZVZ, but the problem here is how delayed we are with the worst economy, with the later Lair, with the later Spire. There's a world where maybe Hatsu can pop off with a Ling Bane control and outtrade GgMaChine and maybe get into a mineral line and maybe get some drone kills. This may be the best opportunity here for Hatsu is economic damage. As muta production has begun and the Spire is still halfway done here for Hatsu. Still halfway. They have arrived. They reveal themselves. Overlords are being hunted down. We're forcing out spores. Likewise, how many queens do we have so far? 1, soon to be 2. Soon to be 2 queens. Extra spores being thrown down as well. More overlords falling. No, catching out a spore. Control by GgMaChine. Does control well. Going for the queen. Queen gets surrounded. Oh, still worth it here for the lings. For the dive. Oh god, messy control out of GgMaChine. Very messy. But it's fine. He can afford to be messy. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Lings, they flood into the mineral line. Crazy connections. Cleans up all the drones. And GG gets called. GG gets called. There's just not much left to defend, and GgMaChine will claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Some unorthodox builds here from Hatsu, both hyper aggressive in game 1 and game 2, but unfortunately both times got scouted, right? GgMaChine did scout both game 1 and game 2. Game 1 saw the late hatchery, responded with the early Baneless, early Spine Crawler, realized and rescouted with the Lings, confirmed the Roach all in, and shut it down real hard and real fast. Game 2, we saw something different. Hatsu faked a standard opener into a Bane Bust, but we did see that Lings likewise got in and did confirm the Baneliness as well. So both games, GgMaChine, he was able to come in with the Link Scout, he confirmed the all-in, and he just fully walled off and shut down the all-in. Hatzel tried to macro from there, but had already over-invested into the all-in, that playing macro from there and trying to stabilize was going to be difficult without doing any counter damage. GG well played with that. GgMaChine snowballs out of control, and with that we have our final series of the broadcast. It is going to be a Terran versus Protoss matchup. Oh boy, this one is looking a little bit spicier here. Again, when it comes to the first rounds, the first couple of days of OSC, of the Rising Star tournaments, typically, you know, we have a bit of a more larger disparity between the players in terms of skill, but I would say that this one is the closest in when it comes to their overall MMR. Both Art and Moja are very close here in terms of skill, very close in terms of their performances. I don't know who to favor. I think I lean towards Art. Like, Art has been looking like a beast as of late. So I do lean towards Art here, but we'll see. We shall see. Un momento. As we're getting ready here for our third and final series of the broadcast. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the right corner of the third final series? Well, sixth and final series. As spawning in the right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the blue Protoss player. We have blue Protoss representing Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the German Terran player, the red Terran representing himself, and I guess Clan 8 Rax. It is Moja. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open, and place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats. Coming into this, again, it's going to be a little closer here. These two are much more competitive in skill, and we are already moving out with the SCV. Let's go. So we're setting up for the eBay block. The SCV does skirt around the edge of the map to avoid the main scouting probe, to sneak in, to get the eBay up, and to disrupt the early game of the Protoss. So cheeky start out of Moja. When it comes to Moja's typical playstyle, he's typically hyper aggressive. The ARAX does indicate that as well, by the way. He's very aggressive. He does like to incorporate mech. He does like to mix in mech from time to time, even against Protoss. But otherwise, we're expecting 2-base play and 2-base all-ins. Those are my expectations for Moja. But now, throws down the eBay. Blocks the low ground, delays the economy. Art is going to have a late realization of what's going on, to the point where Art may just have to take the unnatural natural. Yeah, too late. Late scout by Art. Force expand here at the third. Art is going to be exposed, and we can see Moja taking advantage of that. I can take advantage of that. There's a cancellation. Does cancel. There's a factory. We'll see if it's going to be Marine into Reactor. It could be Marine, Reactor, add-on slope into Reactor Hellion. Otherwise, we could just expand and build up into a standard game. Okay, we can see it's going to be Marine into Reaper, into Expand. There's no early Reactor, there's no early Hellion, or no early add-on slope into Hellion production. So we're going for a bit of a tamer follow-up here. It is still going to be Reaper Hellion, and the goal is still to get economic damage done early on, but it's nowhere near as committed. To force to throw down batteries. So safety battery here at the natural. Force into extra warpins as well. So not a bad start for Moja. Not a bad start. As it is going to be a Twilight Council opener. Now, when it comes to the players themselves, I was speaking a little bit on Moja and how typically he's a little more aggressive, a little more assertive. He likes to mix in mech whenever he can. When it comes to Art, he's also a little bit unorthodox when it comes to his builds, when it comes to his timings. We often see standard openers, but often the mid-game is a little more aggressive from Art, typically. And that's where he does find success. Reaper Hellion does bypass the Stalker, going straight into the main. Yeah, straight into the main base, catching at one probe so far. Battery is done. Do we find any more damage? We get a full scout. Do get a full scout. It's dropping back down. Battery's in position. The battery is ready. Hellions getting focused down, and so far this has not been worth it. Yeah, so far minimal damage. Art does hold, Art does defend. Oh, and we're going into Hyperflight Rotors. Okay, okay. Not into Cloak Banshee, but into Hyperflight Rotors instead. Again, this is a style that has been building up in popularity over the past couple of years. The reasoning for this is because it is very common for Protoss players to open up with Robos in TVP. It's very, very common. So we do have the Robo follow-up here by Art into Observers, into Detection. This is very common. Because of that, we've been seeing Terran players lean away from Cloak Banshee and lean into Speed Banshee instead, which has a lot more micro potential. Also, I mentioned something at the start of the series, if you recall, how Mojo does like to incorporate mech from time to time. Hyperflight Rotors can lead into mech as well, so eyes are open for either a second Rax or a second factory. Ooh, let's see, Hellions get caught out. Banshee's still amassing. Meanwhile, Art does gain map control. It's moving out. Blink is done. No bunker on the low ground. That's an interesting choice. It's going to be a bold move here to defend. Tank does move down. There's only one tank so far. And no high ground vision. Okay, okay. No high ground vision. So it does defend. Going into Cloak after Speed? Huh. It's interesting. Going into Cloak Banshees. Interesting move here out of Moja. Still moving out with said Banshees. They do veer towards the top side. They slip past the army. They have potential. Have a lot of micro potential. As it is going to be by. Okay, second rack. Second rack gets thrown down. Second tank in the main base is going to be a bio follow-up. Banshees, they weave their way past the army across the map. Banshees, they get spotted. Alright, he does spot this. He does know. They're the defensive warpins. Wait, warping and zealots? Might not have seen what it was. There we go. Now deflecting the Banshees. Blink into the main. He gets the tank. Oh, massive pickup. Takes down the tank. Will take some extra tank shots to the face though. So a bit of a trade. Yeah, 2 Stalkers for a tank and the Reaper. Does scout the upgrade on the way. Screams Cloak, as I should have noticed that Speed is already done. Sure did notice. So now our players are just building up. Stim is on the way, combat shields, all the bio upgrades. The Banshees, they're still active. You can see here we have 4 we have 4 Banshees. It's a lot of Banshees. They still have a lot of potential. At any moment they can go in and they can just kill a mineral line. There is potential. Este Moja. Alright, likewise going for his own backstab. Oh. Stalkers are underway. Banshees are moving in. Yeah, they're moving into the bases. Moving in, catching a 1, 2, 3, 3 probes. It's okay damage so far. Catching up 3 probes. Stalkers attempt to delay, they get punished. Moja. Defending well. He defends well, he secures his 3rd. Likewise, Banshee is still being active. Catching out the Stalkers. Catching out all 4 Stalkers, very nice. And Adi commits. He commits across the map. Remember, he does have charge. +1 is almost done. Tanks are on siege. Oh, but it's a little bit lopsided. Yeah, so far nice kiting here from Moja. He pulls back to the siege tanks. Boys are being pulled. Zelsay just melts. And now he can stim in. He can stim, baby. Yeah, rough fight there for Moja. Sorry, for Art, I meant to say. Rough fight for Art, but he does get into the main. 6 SCV kills. That's some okay economic damage. Some okay damage, but again, Art threw away so many zealots in that fight. How many zealots went down? 24. 24 zealots for a handful of marines. That was not worth it for Art. Heavy losses for the Protoss. Behind this now, going for the Bay, going for Colossus. Claiming his 4th base. Moja has momentum. Here comes the Mass on Siege. Let's go. And now it's go time. This is a massive army. Alright, he does spot the move out. He has to slow this down. He's coming. He's got to try. As we just pull the boys. I saw an extra line of units and I was like, oh, that doesn't look right. So I see. The boys are being pulled. Moja, he's just completely all in. Yeah, just a 2.5 base all in here. He's got his 5 tanks. He's sieging up. Stalkers, they go for the dive. But the tanks, they siege. Yeah, massive tank shots. They punish the Stalkers. They punish the Immortals. And with that, Moja, he is done. He breaks the main army. He breaks on through. Getting himself the Robos. Colossus is going to be denied. Immortal goes down. And depowers. Yeah, depowers the Robos. One after the other. He's came with the production. Colossus dies instantly. GG gets called. And Moja takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does take a lead in this series. Again, Moja was hyper aggressive this game, disrupting the early game, disrupting the economy, building up into his Banshee harass, and they did survive until the end of the game, by the way. But I would say that a lot of this came down to Art's overcommitment. We didn't have to have Art committing to the 3rd, but he did, and he threw away 24 zealots. It was a massive commitment. It was not worth it. From there, he lost his main army, and that's when Moja knew that he could just push out. He just pushed out across the map. There was less to defend. GG. Art, he was punished for his aggression, and with that, we're going to be loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into the Old Republic. This time a larger map. Larger map. Has a more open 3rd and 4th base. This is typically more favored towards Protoss than the standard mid to late game, so we're expecting to see Moja try something different here to approach this. We're expecting more aggression. But spawning in the bottom hand corner of Old Republic, we have the Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss himself representing Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the German Terran player, the red Terran. It is Moja. Leading the series 1-0. Let's go. Is leading the series again, able to pull off that 2.5 base all in, commit across the map after we saw Art take a bad fight, right? That was the trigger point. Is that Art, he took a bad fight into the 3rd base, he fell far behind in supply, and then Moja was able to counterattack and snowball from there. Capitalizing on the worst fight from Art. We'll see if Art can tighten up his play. We'll see if Moja can likewise replicate that success. I still do favor Art coming into the series, but that's a strong start for Moja. Shells are taking this. For now, single gas opener. So economic start. Moja going for the ranks expand. So it's been a while. Last night it was just non-stop double gas. Non-stop double gas openers last night from Clem, Byan, Kior, from Maru as well. Appreciate some diversity here. As RT does delay the low ground, just being as annoying as possible. Again, economic starts out of Moja, just racks expands. And we'll see if Art goes into early blink, into early charge. Again, Art, he typically thrives in the mid game. As we saw last time, we do expect to see more mid game play. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Safety bunker on the low ground. Out of Moja. Breaks in, pulls away. Sentry base opener out of Art. With that, he can get some scanning information early on. Go for the hallucinations. Go for the Twilight Council. So we have a tech. Again, we're expecting blink. Whether we go for a greedier or more aggressive start, eyes are on Art. We're looking for the gateway counts. Whether it's 2K, 3K, or 4K blink stalker is what we're waiting for. Meanwhile, we do have Moja going for his own 1-1-1 into Widowmine drop. Okay. Bearing in mind that last game we did not go for any kind of drop play. If you recall, instead it was the Banshees. It was the Speed Banshees. Into Cloak. This time, drop play. Oh, into a very... Oh, damn. Did you notice that? Moja, he's going for a very fast third CC, but he's trying to hide it. He's trying to hide it. No, the rescout. Oh, but he sees. Yeah, it does confirm the fast third CC. Art, he's aware of the greed of his opponent, and how does he respond? Either with aggression or with greed himself. Alright, he does spot the third CC. Moja was trying to hide it. We have one gate in the main so far. Second gate away at the natural. So do we go 2-gate blink to a third? The answer is yes. Okay. So Art, he responds to greed with greed. We go 2-gate blink. Very fast third base here for Art. Moja can't really punish it. Cannot punish. We're just now setting up our ranks. Oh, and Art even being greedier tech-wise, going straight for the Colossus. The bait, going straight for the bait. Straight for the bait before blink is even done. Going straight for the bait to third and fourth gateways. From here we can start the Forge. Okay. Going into 6. So 6-gate setup. Into charge. Just building up his mid-game. There's the Forge. I was expecting the Forge a little bit earlier, but regardless, the Forge has been thrown down. Jesus. Into an 8-gate setup. For the gateways. Yeah, a lot of gateways, minimal warp-ins. Oof, using a stalker early on. And bleeds out one. Does force the defensive warp-in. Colossus are amassing up quite quickly here. And again, Moja can't stop it, right? Just because of his own opener, just because of Moja's own greed and the delay on his own factory production and bio setup. Even when it comes to factory play, you can see here there is no tank production. He's only floating, right? There's no tanks, no tank follow-up. It's going to be a heavy bio follow-up instead, very marine focused. It's a very fragile composition. Moja's going to be careful. And we might just see Art move out once he gets his prism out after the second Colossus. So here comes that Colossi. There's that prison, as you mentioned. We're just waiting for the war prison. That's the first sign of aggression. Of Art pushing. So here goes 8 gateways. He already has them. Just still setting up. Here comes the move out. Here comes Art. Oh boy. And it's going to be a difficult defense here for Moja. He's got no bunkers. Remember, because of his build of choices, no tanks. No tanks, no bunkers. No Widow Mines either. Just pure Marine Marauder medevac. Oof. Colossi punished. That's already, what, 6 Marines going down. Yeah, 6 Marines and a Marauder. Here come the reinforcements. Moja setting up the concave. But again, still a very fragile composition. Trying to collapse in. Nice armor shred. Armor shred goes off. The army does kite back. The boys are being pulled. We do get on top of the first Colossus. Very nice. Yeah, 1 Colossus goes down, but a mission control there by Art. He gets caught, but he still takes down the mineral line. Yeah, takes down the mineral line. Reinforces, they warp in. Art, he's going for the kill, going for the throat. He already takes down 21 SCVs. Crazy economic damage. And Moja cannot defend. Yeah, cannot defend his third. Alright, he keeps warping in. Bearing in mind that Art does not need to push into the natural. He's getting a 4th. He's getting a 4th base up. We can just calm down. We just back off, calm down. Get further ahead. Again, one of the reasons why this hit so hard is because if you remember, Moja was being greedy. Moja was being greedy and Art responded with greed, so he was able to cut corners as well. Skip warp-ins, build up a faster 3rd base, a 4th base, faster saturation, leading to a stronger timing. And Moja was crippled. Moja does reclaim his 3rd. That's going to be the target. Once again, Art is pushing. Target should be the 3rd base. Actually, we're just pushing between the bases. Okay, sure. There are some deepers here to delay. Scan reveals the army. At this point, Moja does have a very heavy Marauder count. He's got how many? He's got 25 Marauders, more than Marines. That's a lot of Marauders. I would say this is a better army here for Moja, better than previously, of course. And Art does not engage. Yeah, it doesn't engage. He sees the mass amount of Marauders with the Observer. He wants none of this. 2nd rover is on the way. Should from here work towards either Disruptors or Immortals. Ah, there it is, Disruptors. So going for the Novas. Moja coming into the drop. Just boost into the natural. And there's not enough energy for a recall. Yeah, there's no recall. Main army pushing on the right hand side. Art, can he keep up? So far, just losing a gateway, losing a gas geyser. Art is in position. And I do worry for his push. He's getting 3 forges. Wait, what? He already has 1. I just lost 1. Okay. Yeah, just lost 1 of the forges, so he's gonna get 3 forges, 3 upgrades at a time. Why not? Art is max. ¿Por qué no, papi? ¿Por qué no? Art actually bypassing the main army. Okay. Do we try to collapse in from behind, or do we push? Oh, we're coming in from behind. Somewhat. There's a crazy army. Yeah, Moja, he moves to the right hand side. Art comes in from the left. 1 Colossus exposed. We'll get 1. 3 Colossus. Miscontrol there by Art. And shows us Novas. Yeah, we're still waiting for the Novas. Nova goes off. Ooh, they do connect. Yeah, Novas are connecting. Oof. Some brutal losses here. Losing Marauders, losing Marines. Moje tries to engage, but he cannot support this. He cannot support this army. Not like this. He's being overwhelmed. Alright, he defends his fourth base. GG gets called. GG gets called with that. Alright, ties up the series. We're going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We're going to game 3. Again, it was just a really rough start for Moja. He tried to hide his greed. He was not able to. So as a result, we saw that Art was able to respond greed with his own greed. He had a stronger timing and punished the lack of any kind of factory setup, lack of defenses. No bunkers, no widow mines, no tanks, just pure Marine Marauder. And we saw Art just snowball out of control. GG. GG all played. With that, we're going to the ace match, going all the way to game 3. Curious to see what map we load into here. Where are we dropping, and how do we change our approach? Oh boy. Here we go. Oh, as game 3 for the first time tonight, it's going to be loading into Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the more standard maps of the map pool, but we've been seeing more extreme maps instead. With Ruby Rock, with Tourmaline. We haven't seen more aggression. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match for Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the German Terran player, the red Terran. It is Moja. Presenting all those 8 Raxers out there. Presenting Clan 8 Rax. Whew. And we'll see. We'll see how Mojo will approach this. I would imagine that after what happened in game 2, he's not going to be hyper greedy. Not anymore. I don't see us getting a faster TC. Not this time, not 2 games in a row. At the same time, I just mentioned that this is one of the more standard maps. I think a better way of phrasing it is this is one of the macro maps of the map pool. So it's very safe, very defensive. We often do get a lot of mid to late game play on Winter Madness. As a result of that, aggression is typically ill-advised. It can work. It can. It's a little bit more niche. The reason why it can work, though, is typically because your opponent can just blindly assume you're playing standard, and they take that for granted. They don't scout you, they don't check, and then you can catch it with their pants down. That even does work on the highest level of play, so you have to be very on point with your scouting just to make sure that everything's on the up and up. Expectations are standard builds and standard play, but we still have to confirm. Likewise, when it comes to standard play, like Moja has harassment options, Widowmine drops, Banshee play, Raven harass as well, going for early committed drop play, just period in general. So Art is confirming. Goes in, single gas opener, faster CC. It's an economic opener. We can see that Art, he's aware, so he's delaying. We're up to almost 500 minerals. Ooh, past 500. Getting it to 560, 565, so a very delayed natural base here from Moja. Oof, that was not insignificant. So delayed natural. Alright, behind this building up, waiting for his own cybercore, waiting for his own tech of choice. Here, just making sure there's no like Marauder follow-up or second racks, 3 racks stim timing. From here we're calming down. Again, safety bunker. Twilight Council open out of hearts. From here we're expecting Blink, and because the map is so large and so defensive, we're leaning towards a greedier build here from Art, and we're expecting an earlier third. That is what our expectations are. Watch that back at home. Going for a standard 1-1-1. Art, he does get extra gateways. Okay. That's going to be an extra gateway here, so 3 gates set up out of Art. Does he go for the robo as well? I don't think we need to. But Art is being a little bit safer. Ooh, Thirsty Z, same build. Yeah, same build. The hallucination goes in. Art, he could have gone to free scout, but he so far is not aware. Does he go back in? He does. Wow, he does go back in. He confirms the speed banshees. He confirms the third CC. He confirms the greed. And it's too late. He already threw down the robo. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, robo follow-up. Delayed third. Alright, now does expand, but it's 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink into a robo into a later third base. Alright, it's not as greedy as he could have been, but at least he's aware of the greed of Moja. So Moja's being greedy. Going into Hyperlight Roto Banshees again, which is scouted by Art. Art knows. Art, he knows he's aware. As from here we have the Bay on the way, working towards Colossus again. This is looking very similar to last game. It's looking similar, like the third base is still delayed here for Art. But once again, we're going for the Bay. From here we should be going for earlier Forges. Into the eventual upgrades. Gateway Explosion as well here for Art. And I should be feeling safe. Now, unlike the last game, Moja is building up his tank count. Slowly building up his tanks. Investing into tech. Yeah, that's initial rack setup here. Going into a 5-rack setup on soon to be 3 bases. Likewise, there's a Forge for Art as well, working towards charge, and we're just settling in. It's so far a very tame mid game, which the map does kind of lean towards. Just both players focusing on their third bases into their fourths. Because Art is aware of the faster third CC, we should be seeing a faster fourth Nexus for the Protoss. Should be seeing Banshees. They finally reveal themselves. True. Finally revealed, getting it to 5-6 probes. Oh my god. Yeah, 6 probe kills in the main, and the Banshees they get away. Remember, they have speed. They do have speed, and if you recall, Art did scout this. He scouted, he was aware. He was somewhat in position, but despite that, still will lose 6 workers. With that, a better start here for Moja. Let's pull away. Alright, licking his wounds. The Banshees are coming back in. Once more damage. This time Art is ready. This time Art is ready. He moves out. Moja back at home, just securing himself stem, combat shields, +1, concussive shell. And with the gases being taken, Moja should be building up and just turtling up into a 4th base. Like, it's feeling like a slower style here from Moja. Oh, hello. Jesus. Okay. I believe that's 8, yeah, but he's doing what he does best. He's going into an A-rack. So an A-rack setup here from Moja. Lifts up the factory. No more factory production. No more tanks. Just the mass bio. So far, keeping up with the Banshees. Main army gets spotted. Moja getting in position. I believe Moja should have enough to defend here. He's got his tank line. He's got his Sim City. Art knows he's been scouted. I don't see Art breaking this, but he's going for it. Okay. Oh, the whole position micro. Just trying to open up that mineral line. And we just commit in. Yeah, he does blink. Yeah, he does blink forward. Zelda get into the middle line. He's getting himself the first 2 tanks. 2 tanks going to be going down. Close to overextend. No, the Colossus, the miscontrol. He loses 1. Yeah, losing 1, losing both. Losing both. Colossus, despite the range of Colossus, he just walked up to the army. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, massive miscontrol from March. He will lose everything. He moved committed into the arm with the Colossus, and with that, he just knows out of control. Moja can just push. He can just push across the map. He can punish. It was already looking like a shaky fight to begin with, but Art to just throw away those Colossus, that was the backbone of his army. Without them, he can't hold. Down to 1. Down to 1 Colossus. Moja scans. For now, pulls away. At this point, we can work towards Vikings. So far, still doubling down on Mass Marauder. Oof. As branches they sneak in, catching up 5 more probes. It's getting at a hand here so far. It's been 13 probe kills in total and counting. As 1 Banshee finally goes down after another 12 probe kills, and here comes Moja. He's almost maxed out. There still is a heavy Zealot army. Likewise, Moja is fighting with only half his forces. Uh-oh. And Moja getting called out. He's bleeding out a lot of supply. At the same time, Moja tries to move in. Will force a recall. Don't barely get anything. Recalls 1 Zealot? Oh, no. Yeah, it doesn't recall much. Marauder's going to be forced to pick up. Moja going to be forced back. Alright, he is taking these better fights. The reasoning for this is because twice now, Moja's only fighting with half his army. He's only fighting with a portion of his army, so Moja's getting bullied. We need everything together. Even here, more Marauders going down. Heavy losses there for Moja. So big missteps, big mistakes here from Moja. Throwing away a lot of supply. And Art, he's committing. He's trying to commit. He attempts to overwhelm. Cashing in a handful more Zealots. But again, not enough reinforcements. Not enough buffer here for the Colossus. Like, this is still a very bare bones army. It's very fragile. Moja, he's holding. Did lose his lead, but I still in a better position. Not as ahead as he otherwise once was. Again, that was on Moja going for a bunch of split pushes. As he's trying to be active. Once again, Moja splits up his army. Frees him into the natural. Moja's ready for it. Just so far he defends well. What's crazy here out of Moja is that Moja, he still refuses to make any Vikings. Like, he has seen so many Colossus this game. Now we built up to 4 Colossus, but he will still refuse to make a single Viking here. He's making it hard on himself. There's not that much anti-air. Moja's not maxed. He's maxed out, and Marauders out built a tank. But again, we could have seen this push much earlier. Now kiting well against the Zealots. Colossus, they move in. There he goes off. Oof, punishing the army. The 4 Colossus, they still stand strong. And alright, he commits. Yeah, he commits in. Oof. Never forcing splits. Marauders, they go for the dive. He gets 1, he gets 2. He gets 1, he gets 2 Colossus, and once again, Moja takes the fight. Yeah, this time he once again overwhelms. This time Mark didn't overextend with the Colossus, but he did stick around too long. Did stick around too long here. Committed to a fight that he just cannot take. There are just so many Marauders. How many Marauders do we have left? 31. 31. It's crazy. 31 Marauders. Who needs Vikings when you just have big men with gun? true. Yeah, scans for Dark Templar. What does they stim in? He stims and he wins. GG gets called, and Moja, he will claim this series 2-1, advancing on into the next rounds. GG. GG, well played. Again, a bit of a shaky back and forth here. We saw Hyper Greed out of Moja be punished, of course. Here in game 2, we saw that this time, Art, even though he scouted the third TC, he wasn't set up to punish it. If you recall, he had already gone for a safer build. We had built up into the mid game. We saw that Art took a brutal fight. There's a world where maybe he even wins the fight if he didn't move command in. But if you remember, when it came to the second last big engagement, he moved commanded 3 Colossus into the main army, and he lost all 3 of them to Marauders. He lost all 3 Colossus. That should never have happened. Ideally, you stand behind your army, and your army buffers and tanks for your Colossi. But it was a really rough fight there for Art. He lost a lot of momentum. He lost a lot of control. From there, Moja, he was a little bit too careless with his drop play, as he split up his own army and he was losing like a portion of the army at a time and time again. That was a scary moment for Moja for sure, but he still brought it back. He still brought it back again. 31 Marauders. Like, that's insane. 31 Marauders towards the end. I was being critical of him not making any Vikings and just going pure Marauder, but I mean, it worked. It worked. He was still far enough ahead. He still had a lead after the first big fight. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Moja. He will claim the series. Conscripted convicts too powerful. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Moja, as he will claim the series, and with that, Art, he's going to be knocked down. As a reminder, there's still a lot of matches ongoing. So a lot of matches here. It does mean that we have actually, let's have a look at the bracket. Let's have a look at the bracket together. Let's go. Now, the bracket has not been updated. Will be updated later on in the evening, so just bear that in mind. But Shameless, if you remember, Shameless took down Fiant earlier. Jumy took down Mini-Zerg, so we have Shameless versus Jumy in the third round, in a best of 3. It's going to be a brutal matchup. We then have the winner of Lelix and Unity Soldier up against Hacker's Top. If you remember, Hacker's Top did win that series, so Hacker's Top, he's in the next round. That was a big upset. We have GgMaChine versus Moja. That's going to be a spicy TVZ in the second round. Oh my god, sorry, in the third round. I'm looking forward to it, 100% to that ZVT. We then have Rebellion versus Art, that's still ongoing, and we have Baby Marine versus Homeowner in a TVT. That's also going to be spicy. Homeowner is an animal, so we expect that to be a fun and spicy series between Homeowner and Baby Marine. GG, well played. And remember, there's still a lower bracket, right? There's still a lower bracket, still plenty of games to be played. As I mentioned previously, this tournament typically takes it around like 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months to conclude, because there are so many matches, because it's double elimination, so many games, and everything is casted. Everything is going to be casted. So with that, GG. With that, GG well played, we wrap up with day 2 of the OSC Elite Rising Star broadcast, and we'll see you next week for day 3. Again, we should be covering this event on a weekly basis as long as we have the room for it. Again, it's just been a very busy schedule. I mean, you can see it here and now. Bam. We have our schedule this week. We just wrapped up with our morning OSC cast, Tuesday morning. Tonight, we do have MSO. Master Swan Open is going to be later on this evening. Bear that in mind. We do have the Master Swan Open. We have the Pegastar Cup Wednesday morning. We have Kung Fu Cup Wednesday evening. We have WarZoo Monday. The Podcast RSL playoffs do begin this weekend, and we have the GSL finals this weekend as well on Sunday. We also have KSL and Amante, so a very busy schedule here. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. We are going to be rescheduling the WarZoo Monday. The reasoning for that is because we just live casted GSL qualifiers last night, and we're going to be rebroadcasting that in a couple days time in the Thursday morning time slots. So just as a heads up, GSL will be there. If you missed out on the super broadcast, on live casts of the GSL qualifiers, then we'll have those VODs available later. They'll be available Thursday morning. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we have MSO later on tonight. That is our Bronze to Masters tournament. I'm gonna go pass out. I'm insane. After the GSO qualifiers, I got like 4 hours sleep. I'm insanely tired. I'm gonna try to get some sleep. I'm gonna try to get some rest and wake up in time to admin MSO. Bearing in mind that Kuro is gonna be casting. Kuro alongside Steel Molds. Meanwhile, I'll be adminning the event from behind the scenes, and I'll be back to cast tomorrow in less than 24 hours with the Pegastar Cup. Pegastar Cup into Kung Fu Cup into more StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tonight for MSO or tomorrow for Pegastar Cup. See you then.